Suma Inferno. That's great. Hello, Jorge. Can you hear me well?
I can hear you. How are you, Perttu?
I'm great. Thank you. It's such exciting times for the band. Like amazing. We are excited about the album release, excited about the first show, building up the produce and already rehearsing for the live concerts and very, very exciting times for sure.
That's great. Well, talking about this new album, almost 30 years have passed since your debut album, the debut album with the original Metallica covers. Why did you decide to make this second part so long later?
Actually, this idea we have had in our minds for, let's say, at least 20 years already, because we always knew that there were a couple of personal favorite Metallica tracks that we didn't perform yet or so far. And simply the fact that why Apocalyptica exists is the reason that we loved Metallica's music when we were teenagers. We wanted to try how it would be to play that favorite music of ours also with cello. And you can always fit only this and this much songs into one album. So Metallica fortunately have amazing amount of great tracks in their back catalog. So, but some songs, Ride the Lightning and Blackened, I think that I have dreamt of making a version out of those songs already for so long, and curious about how it would sound when we tackle those tracks with cellos. So the basic idea has been existing in our minds always. Now this just felt like the correct and right timing that we want to do finally the second edition of Metallica tracks, combining with the full world tour with this concept, because we celebrated the 20 years anniversary of the first album with the really cool and successful tour where we actually did displays Metallica concept, and there still remained a huge demand and ask from requests from fans and promoters that are we ever going to do such concerts again. So also there was kind of this touring aspect was all the time there. And we thought that if we are going to do more of those shows, then we actually should finally make the album to support and make it even more amazing, everything to combine it.
Well, yes, the first album, your first Metallica covers albums, your debut, I had a great impact. I remember being in elementary school and someone showed me the record and I was like, wow, but now you have the very members of Metallica involved in this new album. Rob Trujillo placing for Horseman, but I know that James Hetfield makes an appearance in one, and if that were not enough, Cliff Burton appears in the Call of Cthulhu. I think it must be pretty exciting for you, right?
Oh gosh, of course, yes, totally. It's so exciting, so amazing. We wanted to talk with Metallica members before starting this project, kind of just asking that what would they think? Would they be okay if Apocalyptica once again wants to do such a kind of a tribute for their music? And they have been incredibly supportive for us throughout our whole career. We played many times together and all over the world, and there always was this kind of, I would like to say that brotherly. They are big brothers and we are the younger brothers, and this kind of they have been following up what we have been doing, and and always giving such a positive, cool feedback for the versions and stuff we have done. And for this album, they absolutely were supportive also and saying like, yeah, green light, go guys. We always were so proud of you. So uh, through those conversations, actually, it even happened that Rob mentioned then that if we would need bass to some of the tracks, he would be able to do it. And that of course already as a starting point, it was incredible to get such a legendary, amazing bass player, Trujillo, to play with us, and it was very fascinating to see how he worked in the studio, and also that was one of the most coolest moments that he came to record for Horsemen in Los Angeles. But after he was done, he wanted to hear the other songs where we were, even they were not all finalized at that point. But his reactions on the studio sofa, that was, you know, the excitement. You could see that there's a person from basically from the biggest metal band in the world, but he is genuinely actually really enjoying, and his eyes are burning that you guys, this is sick, and he's hugging at the solo there. You are badass, and you know, to see that our work had an effect in Trujillo like that, it actually boosted quite a lot the confidence that yeah, we might be doing something right in here actually. But then to the other tracks, there was a great idea. Actually, Eikka had the idea of Call of Tulu to build that arrangement around Cliff Burton, and we were able to reach out the very, very original Cliff Burton bass track from 80s, which is recorded by the legendary Fleming Rasmussen also, and to have that track starting there, to build up your own version around it, it was really spiritual, amazing emotion, and remembering like recording on a studio, having Cliff Burton in your ears, and really realizing that I am performing with this one of the most legendary, amazing bass players ever existing. And that brought many, many times tears in our eyes, and it still does, because it feels like such an amazing honor to be able to treat that song, which is many times very bass guitar driven, and Cliff is playing insanely exciting patterns there all the time throughout the song. So of course it's like a mind-blowing thing. And when it comes to James, the things get even crazier. I all the time had this idea of I want to make a very epic cinematic version, like a movie type of a soundtrack type of a version out of one, because it's one of absolute most important and beloved tracks for me personally, as for so many others too. But and that's why I actually thought that the story of one is really important and interesting, exciting, and touching story, that for a movie aesthetics or cinematic aesthetics, it would be so cool to have a narrator in the track to talk the lyrics. And we didn't really even consider having anything sung in this album. But this narrator idea, I think what the approach is really cool, because it brings a different type of a flavor to this soldier's story, and kind of inside his mind. And of course, in the very starting point, James Hetfield naturally was kind of the number one choice for us when we were speaking. It would be so cool if James does his own lyrics, but we didn't even consider that he would ever step away from Metallica to do something else. And that's why at at some period of time we had maybe other ideas of like involving some cool actor, Mads Mikkelsen or somebody like that, you know, with a great charismatic voice there. But then when our recordings were all done and we came into the finalizing the post-production of the album, all of a sudden James informed us that basically basically like, why wouldn't you ask me to do that? He kind of felt even that he wanted to do it. He really, really wanted. And that was a mind-blowing experience. And for me, I remember when I received actually all the files James had recorded in States, and I was working at my home in Finland. And I got all his tracks and I imported them to my session and I started to edit Hetfield at home. I fell to my knees crying because it felt like, in a way, of course, like a dream come true and a full circle going on. And eventually, Trujillo wanted to play also bass to one because they apparently loved the version, the demo, the original demo that I sent to the guys. And even that was exciting because I had spoken those lyrics or that the poetic approach, the narrator with my own sound, with my everything else but perfect English. And I'm just sending these own demo versions to James and like, oh, I hope you don't mind that I had to do it myself, but this would be the idea and please do whatever you want. And it's gonna be amazing. But also, yeah, still speaking about the one, that it was very fascinating, highly exciting to get to work with the wonderful special effect person, Jussi Tergeman, who works in Los Angeles, and he has been working for Skywalker Sound and made sound effect designs for many, many great movies, starting from Marvel and Doctor Strange's and Spider-Man's and stuff like that. So we also had this element in there. It was, I'm a big movie fan and big Marvel fan actually as well. And, to work with absolutely greatest people in the world, having a great orchestra from Budapest to make it, it's by far the most bombastic and biggest thing we have done this particular song for sure.
Well, sounds like this new album will be a blast because besides Metallica members, you are also working with Joe Barresi. Joe Barresi is a legendary producer. Do you think he will even make a biggest improve in these Metallica covers for Metallica? For Apocalyptica Metallica's covers?
Yeah, Joe Barresi is a fantastic producer, and we worked with him already 2010 with our Seventh Symphony album. And back then, he flew to Finland, and I think it's also a wonderful album, very experimental. But one really cool thing about Joe Barresi is that he's absolutely like a fanatic when it comes to different sounds, and he has all the gear in the world, like incredible amount, probably a couple of hundred guitar amps. Let's start from there. And we flew this time to LA last year, 3 different sessions, and it was amazing to be able to plug your cello to all that gear. And always our sound checks, actually, they lasted so much longer than the actual recording because we were just really going through enormous amount of gear, equipment to the sounds to find specific and cool flavors to every single little detail even. So the album was really strongly analogically recorded, and we didn't have like a digital support in a way that we created the sound. It might have taken like 8 hours. And then there is this one solo that in the end of the evening, I played a couple of times through, and that's it. That's the performance. So it was like a laboratory work with him, and I would love to work once again with the person because he really loves our band and the way, which kind of possibilities and which kind of a challenge, but there, therefore, there is a lot of opportunities to create very many various types of sounds and ideas with our group. So yeah, absolutely. The entire team working for this it's been only like a dream.
It's a bit curious because when you released the first album, you started as a trio. Then you were joined by Miko, who is not anymore in the band. Frankie was also there at some point. And now with this second Metallica album, you're a trio again. Well, do you plan to keep the things in this way, or do you will searching for someone else?
Yeah, we actually already kind of decided that now after all the changes, after a whole evolvement, how band has been going, that me, Eka, and Paavo, we will remain. The cellos will once again be the Apocalyptica as how we started. But naturally for live, and we have a great friend of us, drummer, joining them for the tours. But for kind of adding a new member into the group, that didn't feel right for us anymore at this point. We kind of want to remain as we are because, for example, I have known Eikka and Paavo since when I was basically 10 years old. So almost all my life I spent with those dudes. And there is a very strong connection and a brotherhood, going. And I think that is the where we want to now concentrate and remain. And we are so happy that through this recording, we were able to go emotionally back in time to those first years in 90s when we just simply, loved Metallica. We played cellos. We wanted to try do this crazy thing, play thrash metal music with the classical instrument. So we were able to go really back into that spark, that really same passion and excitement what we had when we were young. Now we are not so young anymore, but hopefully you can hear it also in the result that it's more probably determined. The sound has evolved, the Apocalyptica sound and our expression has been all the time with every single album, I feel, or I hope that we went always to the new level or reached out, because that has been one of the most important driving elements for us throughout the whole career, that we always wanted to do things better, to learn from even from some mistakes maybe, but always to try to overdo what you have achieved. And therefore I feel that this new volume 2 Metallica album, it is having the young spirit, the same passion that we had in the start, but now we just do everything in a way more mature, more developed, and hopefully even better.
That's great. Well, you're still young, man.
Yeah.
Well, I spoke with Aka a while ago, and he mentioned that you were working in a new album, and I assume it was this one. But
Yeah.
have you also been working on original material for the future?
For now, not. Of course, we mostly me and Eka have been the guys composing the songs. In a way, that is never ending. You always get ideas and you do rough demos about things. So basically, you always kind of create new material and songs. Plus, then we have this the world of streaming, and there is always, requests and great ideas to work with the vocal cooperators. So that is most likely what is going to happen during the next couple of years too, that we still release maybe isolated tracks. Now we are very concentrated on this album release and all the touring that is going to come with it, because I still estimate and kind of I'm so much excited and waiting for getting to the stage to see and share this music with the fans. And I estimate that we will play like close to 200 shows with this concept. So in a way, there is not yet any new Apocalyptica album on the site, but for sure, you always just keep on doing what is the passion. And I love composing. I love this is also so is inspiring project that I'm sure that through these covers, these versions, I also learned a lot as a composer. And there's always new things, new kind of sounds you can now adapt into the other kind of work. So one thing that I am very, very optimistic and hopeful is that even we have been around for quite a while already, almost 30 years, I still feel that we have that idea in our heads that we still have things to achieve. We still want to do this and go forward. So there's no any kind of sound, any kind of sign that Apocalyptica would start to fade out. That no, I think that we just want to boost ourselves to try and do even more cool things, because it's incredible. I feel really, really thankful for all the opportunities that we have had throughout our careers, working not now only with the Metallica people, but with amazing artists throughout our career. And there is still so much to do. Cello is like a never-ending mystery. You can create really cool stuff with that instrument. So we are going strong, and hopefully we are still alive after another 30 years.
We hope so. Well, because I think Apocalyptica is one of the most unique and original bands worldwide nowadays. Uh, you, I believe you leave a mark because at least I don't remember another band that makes metal with cellos besides Apocalyptica. But do you think Apocalyptica left a mark on metal history?
Well, at least some kind of, for sure, because as you mentioned, we have been always unique and very going our own way, and the versatility of the instrument has given us so many possibilities to work with different types of projects. And starting from the fact that Apocalyptica could even create something very classical without distortions, just the pure cello, acoustic cello sound, and already that is a mysterious world. And we, for example, during the COVID times, we had this kind of an ambient acoustic concept, what we played in Finland in churches, because it was really, in a way, like meditative and spiritual concept. So we can dive from those kind of concepts to really full-on thrash metal concepts, or working with the orchestras, working with so many vocalists. So there really actually is no limits, I feel, what Apocalyptica can't do, except of course we can't play banjo. No one as is able. So it's always the cello has to be the main thing in this group, because that's us. But I hope that, yes, it would be amazing if we made such an impression in people that somebody is still remembering us after years and decades from now on. But I don't know. Everything else is, I would say, for the others to judge. That I think for us, most important thing is just to trust in yourself, do something that you love, believe in it, and eventually you actually find your audience who vibrate the same way in a way. Like, I feel if I am passionate about music, and who finds it, they are similar kind of people, their musical taste is similar to mine, and there you find that connection. And of course, ultimately you can feel it on the live show, sharing the same passion with the whole audience, where Mexico is of course outstanding, because you guys, you're just nuts. It's amazing. Our favorite place always to come. And yeah, I can't wait for the next possibility to play these great Metallica songs for a great Mexican audience.
You should. You were here just a couple of years ago, 3 months ago, and was pretty amazing.
Yes,
It was a fairly extensive tour. How was it
it was
going?
amazing. It was a wonderful opportunity. We always, before this, we always went only to three bigger cities, basically. And this was the first time we got to play like 15 shows all over the country. And to drive there with the bus and all of that, that was a huge, wonderful experience. Amazing audiences, and I wish that we can make something similar soon again and bring all these cool tracks to the Mexican audiences. And I'm sure that they are planning something for Auditorio Nacional for next year already. And so I'm just, you know, just waiting to. It feels like, I want to play these songs live. I want to bang my head and bleed for this music, and that actually is such an amazing feeling. We have been doing this for a long while already, but I get thrills still thinking of this, all the opportunities and possibilities. I love being on a stage. I love playing the instrument. I love to see the smile and the tears of the audience, because that really means so much. And it's the best reward. It kind of makes you feel like, we must be doing something right because it touches people. So that is really, really, there's nothing to be, I can't compare it to almost anything. The feeling of that you create something with the passion, and then you see that these people who either listen to it or that they come to your shows, that they feel the same, they feel the passion in me, and that's some kind of a unity that the world really, really needs, I think. Hello there, hola Mexico. This is Perttu from your favorite cello metal band Apocalyptica, and I'm here with the Summa Inferno to represent our cool new album Apocalyptica Plays Metallica Volume 2. It's going to be out on 7th of June. Check it out. You're not going to be disappointed. It's an amazing album with amazing music. Long live Metallica and long live Mexico and Apocalyptica as well. Cheers. See you soon.